but the stroke seat basically did just that. We almost lost him to unconsciousness, but he had to do exactly what you were talking about right after they won the boat race there. But they won basically without a stroke seat.
Yeah.
It was pretty incredible to see his teammates just figured it out. That 7 seat started stroking,
Yep.
and he was basically just touching the blade in the water, and that does happen sometimes. So.
Yeah.
Really incredible. You hope that never happens to you, but at the same time, if that's all you have to give, that's all you have to give. So
Truly.
Let's go right back now to our next race, picking that right up again, the men's U16 Coxed Quad in the grand final. Again, this is one that is going to Sarasota. So I want to give you some lane assignments here. Very important placings. Lane 1, Pocock. Lane 2, Sammamish. Lane 3, Lake Oswego. Lane 4, Oregon Rowing Unlimited. Lane 5, Vancouver Lake. And Lane 6, Bainbridge Island. And again, this is a grand final qualifying for Youth Nationals at Sarasota. So the top 4 crews will qualify a spot to move on in a few weeks.
Super awesome to see here. And we've got some contact between the first and the second place boats right now. Again, we're seeing the chevron shape, that very distinctive wedge formation where the faster boats are in the middle lanes, which are a little bit more protected typically, so that's why they get that middle lane assignment. And here we go, we're riding along with our race leaders right now. I think I see Oregon Rowing Unlimited in the lead with Lake Oswego right next to them, and there is overlap, and Lake Oswego is trying their hardest. I'm sure that that coxswain is letting those rowers know exactly where they are in relation to the Oregon Rowing Unlimited boat and exactly what they need to do and how much distance is needed to reel them in and close that gap. But actually, I think I see Oregon Rowing Unlimited right now walking away. Yep, I think they're gaining speed, and I think that Eugene is getting frustrated here. Or sorry, Lake Oswego is getting frustrated here.
Yeah, I think you may be right here. That is the lucky lane 4 once again stroked by Alexander Su Chen. So very well done to Alexander Su Chen. Very, very long rowing here. This is very patient rowing, and they are spending a lot of time with their blades in the water here. This is really quite beautiful rowing. So again, I'm excited to see where this crew can go because they've established a very solid base here at this base pace in the meat of the race right here and maintain their lead. And although we have Lake Oswego here led by Saxon Kitchen, again, one of the greatest names. You guys have the best names here. Also starting to bring the rate up just a little bit, maybe a half pip or so, because they are definitely going to be challenging that Oregon Rowing Unlimited. So let's keep an eye on these two. Again, lanes 3 and 4, as lane 3, Lake Oswego, nearly pulls up even right before we hit the red buoys.
Totally. And I think that all of our national qualifier spots are pretty well done and dusted for this race. Anything could happen, mind you, but unofficially I'm seeing that there are a clear 4 boats that have stepped away from the rest of the field. It seems 5th and 6th, they're spat out the back. So I think that we do have our 4 clear qualifiers. I think that there might be a race developing for that bronze medal, though. Oregon Rowing Unlimited has made it pretty clear that they're not going to let Lake Oswego walk through them today. But back towards the latter half of the race, okay, it does look like bronze is being securely held. I don't know if anybody is going to be able to touch, it looks like Vancouver Lake potentially on the other side of Oregon Rowing there. Yeah, it looks like Vancouver Lake.
And here we go.
Hometown heroes. Look at that great shot of the beach. Look at all of our homies on the beach just repping and cheering and blowing their vuvuzelas. And there's somebody with a snare drum blasting it out. And here we go. Oregon Rowing Unlimited crossing the water with just a canvas overlap. Way to go, Lake Oswego, for that silver.
And those boys should be very, very proud of that performance here. The U16 Coxed Quad. Very impressive performance. And since they have gotten their ticket now to Sarasota, they can rest easy tonight. Yeah, and it looks like we have now officially, with somebody sitting out, though, it looks like our bow seat all the way across the water now, lane 2. Stopped rowing there just slightly before the finish line. I'm not sure what happened there. However, they are still across the line in 4th place and have secured their spot.
Maybe just taking a little nap. Might be nap time. I know.
You're about to go race at Youth Nationals. Hopefully you're not sleeping on the job.
I gotta rest up for those big events like that, I know I get mighty cranky when I don't get my nap.
That's right. Here comes the HMS Discovery in lane 6, Bainbridge Island.
That's a great name for a boat. I really appreciate anything that can throw an HMS on there. I'm sure that His Majesty must be proud over in England. He's probably watching this broadcast, actually.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah. Big shout out to the Crown.
That's right. In lane 1, Pocock B.
Well
crossing
done,
the line
Pocock.
now.
Well done, Pocock. Well done to all of these boats in the men's U16 Coxed Quad final. That was some good stuff in the A final here. We've got our B final coming your way, and we'll share which boats are competing in that momentarily. Our drone is getting some new batteries in it. We are rocking and rolling, popping and locking, shucking and jiving, keeping it real, keeping it so real that you might actually question, is this the real life or is this just fantasy? Hopefully there won't be any landslides today, folks, but what can I say? There's no escape from this reality as long as you're tuned into overnight.com, minus the I, overnght.com. Thank you so much for streaming this wonderful event. Thank you, U.S. Rowing, for putting this beautiful event on for us. We love to see it year after year. Official regatta time, just about 12:55, and it looks like we are on time with our placements. We are looking at 7-minute centers here, so a pretty quick turnaround for some of these races. So we are getting the drone back up into the action now. Some of the fastest drone battery changes I think I've ever seen. We've got a beautiful little pit crew here. It's like NASCAR, only better. So basically Formula One. And here we go. We're about to get some start line footage for you on our next race. This is the B final of the men's U16 Coxed Quad event. And that is with Pocock in lane 2 and Vashon in lanes 3 through 5. So this is Vashon, and one Pocock boat. Pretty exciting for Vashon. I hope to see at least some bucket hats. Vashon last year had one boat that repped the bucket hats so well that it took my breath away. And here we go. Lane 2, Pocock. Lane 3, Vashon. Lane 4, Vashon. Lane 5, Vashon. And here we go. We're about to get some drone pictures for you. Wow, such beautiful picturesque skies. It's almost like a Toy Story sky. If you're familiar with that famous Toy Story movie, there's some wallpaper that is pretty much exactly like this with the fluffy clouds. I think it's picture perfect here. Looks like Vashon is in an early lead against the rest of the field. Unsurprising given that they make up 75% of the boats in this race. But it looks like that Vashon boat from lane 4. So this is Vashon B in the lead. And we've got Vashon A right next to them in lane 2. Or sorry, that's lane 3, but it is Vashon A in second place. So it's Vashon B with the lead, Vashon A for silver, and I think Pocock is in the silver medal position right now. I think Pocock is in bronze medal position right now. Exciting stuff from the Pocock crew and the Vashon bringing it down. This is so exciting. And the wind seems to have died down just a little bit, even though we're reading 10.4 miles per hour from the west on our graphic on the screen. It doesn't feel like that much, but it looks like the middle of the course is a little bit more textured on the water than it is down here. So I think that whatever we're seeing with the wind is really only impacting kind of that middle section of the course. You can see it there on the screen, just a little bit of ripples and corduroy on the water. Nothing big, nothing severe. We don't really care. These are seasoned, wonderful rowers, and honestly, this is some of the better racing conditions that I think I've seen in a while here. So this is just great.
Right. These are absolutely not the treacherous conditions that we envisioned potentially having with this 10-mile-an-hour breeze just slightly glazing the surface of the water here. These beautiful conditions. Again, you can still see the reflections of the clouds here. However, the reflections of the clouds are not what we are here to talk about whatsoever. So let me get right back to the racing, because Vashon and Vashon in the center lanes here have absolutely dominated this field so far. But again, Vancouver Lake on the outside, not to be written off, absolutely. Vashon Island here actually got 5th at Nationals in this event last year. So well done to them here. They're back in the B final, but that's okay. They have many other boats that have qualified and gone on already. So really well done to them. Again, the Vashon crew, who has been broken up, I believe, into smaller boats as well, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong from the Vashon crowd, but I believe some of these names will be a little bit familiar. But yes, they did get 5th at Nationals last year. So now it is a race for pride. Lanes 3 and 4, Vashon A and Vashon B, stroked by Axel Haas and Arlo Harris.
Yeah, just some goats and boats here. Rocking the block. I'm really enjoying watching these scullers. And these are relatively young scullers too. So keep in mind that they have so much development and growth left to do, hopefully in their rowing careers. So it's really all about the potential of the sport and where are the next generations going to come from. And it's just so exhilarating to see more sculling. I grew up sweeping. Those were my first experiences in boats. It was not so kind to my lower back. I think a lot of young athletes that grow up sweeping tend to get back issues later in life, whereas sweeping doesn't appear to have that asymmetry that causes as many back injuries. So it's really cool to see so much sculling alive and well here in the Northwest and our nation. And they're approaching the final 250 meters, which are indicated, as I've shared before, by those red buoys that are about to come up on the left of your screen as they enter the final stretch. You can see the beach up in the top left of your screen there, and you're about to see all of the wonderful parents and coaches and family members and siblings who might have been dragged here reluctantly. Shout out to everybody who made it work today to come on out to the beach to say hey. All right, and Vashon still bearing down. It looks like this Vashon A crew has just not been able to eat into the lead of Vashon B. Meanwhile, Pocock up there in the top right of your screen is kicking along still in a strong bronze medal position. And I think that third Vashon boat, Vashon C, might have got kicked out the back a little bit towards the 1,000-meter mark.
Yeah, really good point here. And this is where it kind of comes down to the wire where your body is just screaming to stop, but you have to go on autopilot here and stay sharp with your blade work, sharp with your technique here. Really, really intentional stroke rating coming up here in the last 20 strokes or so for these young crews. Vashon, this is a race for pride here in lanes 3 and 4. So keep an eye peeled on the center lanes here because we have the Vashon dogfight.
There they go.
And I think it is lane 4. Look at all 4 of them looking over at each other.
Who was it? Was it me? Was it you?
Race
Was it me? Was it you?
for them. And of course, the fist bumps. They get to see each other every day at practice.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun for those Vashon crews to get to race on a big stage like this.
Super
followed by
fun.
lane 5, Vancouver Lake.
Pocock. I think that was Pocock. Was that Pocock?
Lane 5.
That is Vancouver Lake.
Yep.
Oh, wow. I think earlier I said that there were 3 Vashon boats in this event. I apologize. That was me, I think, just reading the V and the A and taking it away from there. So apologies to Vancouver Lake. Well done them, taking that bronze.
There we go.
And here's Pocock now, bringing up
the horn now.
the jam.
That's right.
Cool. Yeah, I think towards the end of a long weekend like this, it's easy to get a little bit cross-eyed as we're staring at screens and heat sheets. So,
right, in the glare of the sun, it does happen. That's true.
It sure does. Yeah, my eyeballs were a little bit. Did you know that you can actually get sunburns on your eyes?
Yes, I have. I have actually heard that.
Yeah,
yes.
I think I experienced a bit of that yesterday.